we are live. Hello, Internet. This is Amanda Dobrehope from Borahae Con. We have another mom and daughter duo this week. This is so cool. That's so fun. I love that there are so many mom and daughter duos in ARMY. Even my other organizers for the con, we've got a whole family. So we got mom, dad, and the kids. So super awesome. All parents, all kids, all ages, adult kids, younger kids. The team we've got for the con is older teenagers. So happy to have another mom and daughter team. And Sarah and Kelsey have been to the con 2 years now. Their con, what do you call that? My brain is going today, and I don't even have con brain. I say it's
veterans.
Age now.
Veterans, OG.
Veterans. Right. OG con-goers. Veterans. And have been nice and involved and always helped share our posts and tell people about it and helped us clean up this year when we had to do our own cleanup, which I super appreciated, or we would have been there at 4 a.m. when we were there really late the night before. So super, super, super appreciate that. But without further ado, welcome everybody that is here. If you've been here before, you know the drill. We interview, we find out, what brought them to BTS, what brought you to BTS or what brought BTS to you, however you want to think of it. And then what sucked you in so much that you went to a con and are on a podcast about sharing your BTS story. And then we play a fun game, and people in the chat are welcome to chat. You're welcome to play the game with us. You're welcome to answer the game. You're welcome to give us questions for the game later on when we play the game. So that is how we roll. So I don't know. Is this like a joint BTS story for your origin story, or do you have separate origin stories? Or
no, it was together.
Yep.
Like everything, okay. Pretty much.
But however you want to say it, if one of you wants to say it, the other person wants to say a little bit, or whatever you want to do, the floor is yours.
Okay. You want to start?
I don't care.
Me too.
This is the hard part. Who starts?
Well,
all right, Kelsey, just start, and then Sarah, you can add in.
Okay.
So we were obviously pandemic time. 2021.
I mean, that's not obvious. I don't know when anyone's BTS story starts. So
set the stage. Pandemic 2021.
All right.
Hating life. Ready for this to be over with. And we were fans of another musician. This other musician was like my introduction into like stan Twitter and like stanning and like really being like a fan of a musician. We've been fans of like books, movies, sports, TV shows, that kind of stuff. But like never really followed musicians that closely to where we were like, I want to know everything and go to as many concerts as I can and buy all the things and so that was right. Yeah. So that artist was like our first kind of foray into that. And that artist wasn't really doing anything during the pandemic. It was radio silence, looking for the artist when friends would post like making sourdough bread, looking in like metal cooking bowls and oven knobs to see if his reflection is there, kind of thing. Okay. So we were a little bored, as you can imagine. So the content, there was no new content. There wasn't really any new music, nothing like that.
And we had concerts lined up, like a bunch. We were going to be traveling and everything. And then all of that stopped as well. So,
for the other artists, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, basically the content was limited, so we had just been recycling the same things that we would watch over and over and over and over and over again. And we heard the buzz on stan Twitter because I had a lot of mutuals on my other account that had found BTS and were becoming ARMY. And so through them on my timeline, I had started seeing like the concept photos for Butter and hearing people like getting really hype about a new release from BTS. At the time, I was like, boo K-pop, like boo BTS, like believed all the dumb things, you know, like whatever. Definitely born out of a rival with who we were fans of.
Okay.
So
the artist that shall not be named at this point.
I mean,
we were like 1D Harry Styles, or like Harry Styles. It was the main
I mean,
artist.
you didn't have to. I could keep calling them.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Harry Styles fans. And like Directioners and ARMY don't really get along because whatever, you know, whatever. Even though there's a huge 1D to BTS pipeline, whatever. So at the time I was like, but then I saw everybody talking about it, and so I was like, it's coming out tonight. Should we just watch it, you know? And if we like want to laugh at it, we can laugh at it, right? You know, like it like won't even be that great, right? So we watched it, and I was like, can I curse on this?
I wouldn't, because they'll YouTube will do stuff where they'll
I was like, son of a, like, oh, that was actually really good. I want to watch it again. So we immediately, you know, looped it. Sorry, didn't help with that 110 million views. My bad. Definitely looped it right back. And as soon as the like part with Jin in the front and the mug shot of all of them with holding their like name plates and that stuff, we just like stopped it there. And I was like, how convenient. There are their names, because I have no idea who these people are. So yeah, I'm like up, standing like 2 inches from the TV screen, like trying to read the nameplates, and we're like, you know, skipping like 1 frame ahead to see whose nameplate that's partially covered up in the back. You know, took it very seriously. And I was like, okay, that was actually really fun. I kind of want to know more. So then we ended up, at the time, like unhelpful crack video guides were like really popular. And so I was like, okay, well, I've seen those for 1D. Let's see if BTS has any. Well, obviously ARMY editors are hilarious. So there are a bajillion. So we watched an unhelpful guide to BTS. And I mean, it was somewhat helpful in the like, here's some like bulleted list facts and then some funny tidbits. But I was just like, I can't keep track, because through all the clips and everything, I was like, okay, I think that one's this one, but oh, now he's over here, and oh, now his hair is this. And I was like, I need them to not move. Sit still, don't move, and then I will identify you. So we watched Carpool Karaoke, because I was like, they can't move. I was like, they have to be stationary.
That is true.
So I was like, let's watch Carpool Karaoke, which we love those anyway. So we were watching that, and I Googled, I was literally like, BTS Carpool Karaoke, who is sitting where? And thankfully, a wonderful ARMY had, I don't remember if it was like Tumblr or somewhere, they had like created a post with pictures and like labeled each person and like where they were in the car and like a little tidbit about them. And I was like, perfect. Okay. So we watched Carpool Karaoke, and then for like 2 weeks, we allowed ourselves to like listen. We knew Butter, Dynamite. We knew Dynamite because we'd heard it, and I pretended I didn't like it, and I would like turn it off, but secretly it was an earworm and I loved it. So I allowed myself to finally love Dynamite. But I would say one of the main things that like let us like give them a chance with Butter, besides the like hype and boredom, was the stupid Samsung commercial that was in black and white that had Life Goes On playing in it, and they're like filming them with the Samsung phone, and it's got Life Goes On playing, and it's like they're like filming their performance of Life Goes On or whatever, and they look gorgeous, and it's all, you know, black and white and stuff. But every time I would hear that, I was just like, that song sounds so like chill and beautiful, and I need to know more. So I let myself like hear Life Goes On, which I absolutely loved it, watched the music video, bawled my eyes out, and like listened to that on repeat like every single night. So we had like 5 songs we'd listen to, and Butter, Dynamite, Life Goes On, Disease, and Fake Love. And Disease is because we love watching Fake Love's the last one. Disease is because we love watching reactors. So we had like a whole group of reactors that would react to Harry and stuff. And one of them that we actually met at a Harry Styles concert, he himself is a musician. He also likes BTS. And so he had BTS videos already that we always never watched, that we then went back and we started watching. And one of his most recent at that time was Reacting to Disease. So we heard it in his reaction and I was like, this song slaps. So I was like, okay. So we let ourselves like listen to that one. But then we kind of wanted to do everything together. And I went on a trip with my best friend Kat to LA and mom didn't go. So we kind of just agreed that like we wouldn't watch anything new without each other. And I was like, I will pick up the mantle of trying to convert Kat, because Kat and I met because of Harry Styles. We met on Twitter, not realizing that she lives in Kansas City, which is only like, you know, like 2.5 hours from where I live. And so we had met up, we've been friends for years. And so I was like, I'm going to convert her. So I sat her down in our Airbnb in Malibu on the beach and converted her. She resisted at first, but then she was like, okay, no, this is kind of cool. So that was like the beginning, really. And I remember specifically saying, I will not be ARMY. I will probably just be a casual listener, and I'll like their music and I'll listen to their music. That lasted literally 2 weeks. Because within that 2-week frame, they were on like magazines and stuff, and like we'd be out and about and I'd see them on a magazine and I'd have to sit there and be like, RM, Jin, you know, like I'd sit there and I'd like name them. I was practicing everywhere I went, and I was like, okay, this is a problem. Like, oh no. Uh-oh. Like, I think that I haven't found the rabbit hole yet, but I didn't realize that I was already in and descending rapidly.
I mean, when you get to the point where you're making it a practice to practice, you're in the rabbit hole.
It really
it's
is.
Too late.
I didn't even get to ask the question of, I just, you know, like, what are their names? I never got the like, I just want to know their names moment. Like, it was because Butter just like threw it in my face. I was just like, oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
I'm screwed now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I have to laugh at some of the misconceptions
So
that we had.
I want to know from you guys, was it like a really hard humble pie to eat when you were like trying to resist so hard, and then just slipped, you know, and fell? And
well, it's really funny because because the songs that we were listening to are so good and they were like, I wanted to listen to them all the time. At my grandmother's house, I like her speaker thing or whatever. She has like the Google Home thing. And so I would like play the music in the kitchen or whatever. And she was like, who is this? And I was like, BTS. She's like, I thought you said you hated them. And I was like, so here's the thing. I can admit when I'm wrong. And I was 1000% wrong.
okay.
And no, they're actually amazing. They're hilarious. Their music is incredible. And I can't stop listening to it. And I was a fool, essentially.
Do like BTS penance, or like, you know, go see Jim and Suga at the, you know, the what is it, the confession, or be like, ARMY, I am sorry.
The universe definitely took care of that all on its own, actually.
Oh, okay.
I had tickets. We had tickets to the Harry Styles show in Los Angeles that BTS went to, and we were going to be seated very close to where they were. But we sold those tickets because we were going to see BTS the next week
At Permission
to Dance Los Angeles. So I was like, we don't need these tickets. Let's use that money and we're going to LA the next week. Then I see on Twitter all of these fan cams of them, and my friend who is a Harry Styles fan that was literally right down below them. She's on the floor and she's took a picture of them, and she was like, oh yeah, there's Tay. And I was like, okay. So yeah, I drank an entire bottle of soju by myself, and I went running out into the night and yelled at the moon, I think more than once. Hi bestie, hi cat. Yeah, so the universe got me back more than once actually, regarding
when
the
when were the next
transition.
times?
What else? There was something
And
else.
also, did you really learn the lesson resistance is futile? Did that lesson just really pound itself in?
I really didn't have to learn that lesson because I was just like, I was so quickly like, okay, so I wasn't like, I was drinking, like guzzling the dumb juice, you know? Like, okay, like, yeah, like I needed it to survive. And so I very quickly, I was like, okay, I was an idiot. I think I made a completely new Twitter dedicated to nothing but BTS within 3 weeks of finding them. And I was on Weverse within like 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
That's like a whirlwind romance is what that is.
Right, yeah.
Love at first sight.
It also doesn't help that I'm like severely neurodivergent. And when I have a special interest, I'm like, how can I beat this into the ground? Like, how can I become a subject matter expert within the shortest amount of time possible?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty quick.
That's pretty much what happened. But yeah,
so
it's...
Sarah, you just kind of went along with all this, or, you know, were you trying to resist as hard as Kelsey was, or you were just like, whatever, I'm here for whatever's going on?
Well, I've always been a fangirl. That's always been a thing with me. I mean, I was New Kids on the Block and all of that stuff back when I was in school. So that's always been a thing with me. So falling hard for somebody doesn't, you know, that's not a thing. But I was resistant too because, you know, I was listening to all the Western media and they're just machines. They're working them to death.
Yeah, they don't write their own music.
Yeah, all of the, you know, just believing the whole thing.
All the lies. Yeah.
All the lies. And so yeah.
We also had a bad taste in our mouth from like the fandom side. Now I know better that it wasn't ARMY at all. It was other fandoms that were
probably the same people that were writing those articles,
putting me off to things. Yeah. Me not realizing how divided truly like fandom is in K-pop. Yeah. So in my head, K-pop is just one entity, right? In my head at the time.
Sure.
So to me, it all gets lumped in together of like K-pop fans and in general annoyed me. Not realizing.
You know what? I'm going to raise my hand and be honest here too. There was a long time I didn't want to call myself ARMY either. Because of some of the stuff that went on in the fandom in the beginning before I knew further. Right. And before, gosh, you know, obviously when I went further down and started, you know, really, really getting into the truth of everything, you know, put together this con and attracted nothing but like freaking love from everybody. It was just so much love. Mm-hmm. So much love at the con, so much love, you know, spread everywhere. That's what they do. They spread love. You know, anyone who knows the truth of them, you know, spreads it further. And, you know, so I had the same thing. I you know, when I was just kind of on the outside and, you know, dabbling and learning and, you know, when you see it's so unfortunate that a lot of the lies are what's got all the views, because then when you're new, that's what you see, and it's just wrong. It's so wrong until you get further down. So, so I had that same thing where I was like, no, I'm not ARMY. I just like them.
Yeah. Know? Well, and I think it's because also, like, if I hadn't ever stumbled into, it's a blessing and a curse that I had joined what I call, you know, what's called like Stan Twitter, right? Like, it's a blessing and a curse because it's a blessing because ARMY Twitter can be really overwhelming with all of the things that you can do and all the different types of things that go on and are talked about. And, you know, whether it's streaming, voting, memes, stories, like there's just so many facets of ARMY Twitter. And I think if I had not seen Stan Twitter at all, I would have been completely overwhelmed because just joining ARMY in general is such a, there's like an entire fandom culture that you have to learn. right? It's different than Western fandom culture.
It is different than Western for sure. What I think is cool about ARMY though is that I think everybody kind of finds their area where, you know, what they gravitate towards, what part of the fandom they gravitate towards, you know, what parts there maybe aren't really as much their thing, you know, and you kind of find your place. And so if everyone would just respect the fact that that's how it works for people, and like, it's, you know, best, you can't do everything and you may not want to do every part of the fandom. You fit in those places where the pieces feel like they're you and they resonate with you. And that's totally great. And that's totally fine. And there's so many different things you can do, you know, participate in as ARMY that, you know, like I said, there's no way you can do it all, even if you wanted to, but I think it's neat that there are so many options so that you can find, you know, your sweet spot, what feels good to you. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, because there are so many options and you're just like learning it as you go. And not to mention that we had zero like knowledge of really any South Korean culture whatsoever. Like growing up in Wonder Bread, middle of the US, culture is not super prevalent.
Expansive as far as a worldview.
Right.
We're a very small town, you know.
Okay.
We're an army of two around here, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's.
So you're not getting any ARMY in the wild sightings when you just go out to get groceries or anything?
Very rarely. We've come across a few, and they're usually teenagers that are like looking at albums or work in a fast food restaurant and see Jimin hanging from our rear view mirror or something like that. So yeah, we know. There's so many people that don't even know who they are if we say, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we have why I was like, well, Kat, you're going to be ARMY now. Too bad. Which now she loves it. But, yeah. So
Shannon also mentioned, she's from St. Louis. Did someone say Kansas City? I don't know if you guys saw that comment.
I did see that, yeah.
Crowbot 19, that's Shannon.
Shannon, okay.
Kat's in Kansas City. We're like south of Kansas City. So we go to St. Louis for events.
You got another one in your midst, at least, you know, in the Kansas midst. Not mist. I don't know, is it misty there too? I don't know.
Not right now.
No. Yeah, Kat's right. Kansas.
Is that true?
Is, yeah. We go up there for events and stuff like cup sleeves and stuff like that. So yeah.
Got it. So again, Sarah, I'm going to go back to asking you, did you just kind of go along with all this? Did you have a little bit of your own experience? Did you fight it like Kelsey did? Did you know?
I mean, I fought it in the same way, especially I laugh at Dynamite because the first time I heard it, I mean, takes me back to, I grew up in the 80s and stuff. So it took me back to that kind of music, which I love. And so, you know, deep down, I was like, I really like this song a lot. But, you know, we were, like I said, still fighting it. And I listened, you know, I was listening to.
So you were resisting
stuff,
too?
Why were you resisting?
Just
it was the same. It was just the same thing.
She was also on Stan Twitter.
Yeah, I was on Stan Twitter as well.
Yeah.
But I wasn't as deeply into it, I would say, as Kelsey was at that time. But you know, we talked about it all the time, so she would tell me stuff and everything. So it was partly that, but it didn't take anything for me to flip a switch. I mean, I was just like her. As soon as we watched Butter, actually, and Life Goes On, I was the same. We both looked at each other. We're like, oh, I really like this song. But yeah, just watching Butter and kind of starting to deep dive, and it didn't take us long. I don't even remember what video it was now that we watched, but there was some video that we watched that it occurred to me how deeply they care for ARMY.
Yeah,
I think it was X Celeste's video.
It might have been X Celeste's video. Yeah, one of the guides, and realizing how deeply they cared for ARMY. That's something that I had never experienced anything like that before.
I don't don't know that there is anything like that.
I don't think there is either.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's a very special, very unique relationship. And that's really what I think ultimately got me, although I was already headed there. I mean,
I mean, the first watch through Butter, it's funny that like sometimes people like will watch Reactors, watch Butter, and they completely miss the ARMY call out. But that immediately, like our first watch, we were like, ARMY, like they know their fandom's name, because as a fan of Harry, we're called Harrys, but he doesn't know that, and the media calls them Stylers. So like, it's just like a kind of, they give themselves the name, like not knowing that like BTS named ARMY. But like the fact that like they know their fandom's name and they call them out and understand that they are a huge part of BTS, right? That immediately grabbed our attention. So I'm not even gonna lie, like I was jealous. I was like, oh, well, they know their fandom's name. Like, well, isn't that cool for them?
Speaking of that, I know where we're gonna go just because I know a little bit of your story now. Kelsey, you're a Tay bias, right?
Oh God.
I mean, we're all OT7. We're all OT7, but are you a Tay bias?
He's our alt, yes.
Okay.
I don't even know where levels go, but yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
I'll
say yes.
Is that wrong? I know you had that one sign at the concert for him, so I just assumed you were a Tay bias, plus with the Jimin and Tay pictures behind you. Am I wrong?
We're kind of Veman biased. She's
okay.
Tay was her alt, Jimin was mine, but we're kind of both. But then we've added people to our bias line since then. Kelsey has she's got 2 left, so she's basically almost.
Do you have one of these? Line. Sarah, do you have one of these?
No, but I need one. I have my Muse shirt on though today. I don't know if you can see it since Muse, is
a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to see.
Anyway,
I don't even know how to explain it. We'll say yes. Tay. I saw him. I was like, "Who's the These are literally the words that came out of my mouth. Who is the vampire-looking one with the eyes?" And then that was the end of the story. But I saw Tay, and I was like, "Who's the vampire-looking one with the eyes?" And then I learned V, and I was like, "Okay, that one." And I've never looked back. So yes, technically, yes.
Okay. So I want to talk about your sign story, if you're okay sharing that from the concert, the one you shared with us at the con. But before that, we better talk current events here. I assume you've seen all the coverage of the ceremonial pitch for the Dodgers and
the
story of the ARMY that got the hat and the ball. And so what are your feelings on all that?
Let me preface this with, I played softball for a decade and am a back-to-back state champion and played summer ball traveling everywhere. And so softball, baseball, really sports of any kind. I'm very competitive. I know you cannot imagine that at all. I have always grown up watching sports, loving sports, playing sports, things like that. So I was definitely into it. If I could have afforded the $600 plane ticket and a game ticket to go to the game, I would have been there. I'm super proud of him because I felt like I was watching my kid get ready to play a game or perform. My heart was racing because we were watching it live on Twitter. And I was just like, oh, please,
get across the plane, please.
Please don't sail that over somewhere over here. Yeah, no, I know he's athletic. So I wasn't really that surprised. And everybody being like, oh my gosh, he's throwing left-handed. I'm like, yep, that's my left-handed man. But yeah, no, he did absolutely amazing. I was very impressed. I love all the interactions with the fans there. All of them, whether it's him turning around and seeing people throwing hearts and things and him just being or the person who had the same phone case, which bless his little pea picking heart and his little soul for thinking that it was a coincidence. Sweet man. They did not have that phone case because they thought it was cute and they were like, oh, look at this random phone case I saw. Baby, she has it because of you. Anyway, he thought that was just that blew his mind. He loved watching everybody on the video screen dancing to like Dynamite and stuff. And yeah, the army that was near him that got to talk to him and tell him that she'd been in ARMY for 11 years and he recognized her and gave her switch hats and gave her a ball and a hug and all that. Yeah, no, it's super cute. And I'm really glad that he got to experience that and that all the ARMY that were there got to experience that, because I think it's cool for people who don't know them to see.
That a whole different like audience of people got to see the kindness, the humbleness, the politeness, the respect, the how many people love him. I mean, it was cool to have a whole different audience kind of see that too, just because it takes it more out into the world. Like, hey, you can be this super popular person and not be a jerk. You can be, this amazing, awesome human and still be, ridiculously popular. And honestly, the reason why you're so popular is because you're an amazing human. Yeah. On top of your talent and your looks and everything else, of course.
I had to laugh. I thought, the actual baseball fans that are there were probably just so confused by the freebies that were being handed out and all of the
people were doing freebies.
Oh yeah, there was freebies. They were making stickers and all sorts of things to hand out.
Baseball cards.
And people wearing their Tata headbands and stuff. And they were probably just, what is going on? Yeah. But still yet, I'm sure it made the game exciting because there were so many people there and they were cheering so loudly and everything. So it was really cool.
Well, and I just like that the Dodgers and the MLB like embraced it. And like how much they've embraced it, because like I actually just commented on TikTok like an hour and a half ago that was like, it was another one of the MLB fan edits, and they've like interspersed clips of him from performances and videos from Boy with Love, and there's like heart filters all over it, and it's like an entire just like fan edit of him from the game plus Boy with Love moments. And I was like, I'm gonna need the MLB to stop being better at me than my job of making Tay edits. Okay, thanks. Like, I need you to calm down. All right. First of all, my thumbs are getting sore reposting every single video you've posted in the past 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that they've embraced it and that they've been cool about it. And I mean, even like the Twitter account for what is it, like Dodger Nation or something, and they were talking about there's like 41,000 some fans or whatever and maybe a few for the Dodgers too.
Right.
And just all the locals that are like,
Dodgers sign him.
Yeah. We could have used him last week.
Could have used him in a pen, or like he's throwing better than so and so or whatever. Yeah. Will there be new ARMY that are like Tay ceremonial for Twitch ARMY? Yes, there will be. I mean, we have all sorts of ARMY from all sorts of things. I love finding people's gateway.
So many entry points, even when he did the K-drama, there was an entry point there. There's so many entry points, from different things that they do, individually and as a group, where people can come in from all
my friend Sophie is quite literally martial law ARMY from the night that the martial law happened in South Korea. Like she stumbled into this because of the martial law, and she's like told her whole story before on Twitter. But
kinds of entry points. We got to get her on.
Literally, like literally. There's all sorts. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk current events first, but Kelsey, you should really tell your story about the sign you had at the concert and that you got, recognized and eye contact and interacted with and all kinds of things. Full story.
One of the nights I peaked in life. So we've actually, to kind of rewind a little bit, we've actually been stupid lucky and blessed.
Very lucky. Yeah.
Oh, stupid lucky.
Yeah, lucky. Yeah.
Like, to have found them with Butter in May, and then to thinking we were getting our first. See, we didn't watch Sawuzu like live because it was still. That was like
we
2
didn't know
weeks
what Festa
after.
was.
We didn't know what Festa was, or I saw it happening on Twitter, and I was like, "What is this thing? What is Sawuzu?" I was completely confused. So we didn't get to watch that live. But then PTD online, we were like very much ready for. To then getting that announcement for LA in September. And we had literally talked about it multiple times of like, when BTS gets to go, well, just when the world gets to do concerts again, we have to see them. And then we were like, oh, it's probably going to be, we were guessing like 2020, end of 2022, maybe 2023, because that's like what they kept talking about, you know, like every time there was a new strain and like everything would shut down again, like things would get a little better and then things would shut down again. And so we were just like trying to be realistic, and we were just like, it's probably going to be a long time. And with how the guys had talked about it too, right? Like the way they kind of just have always been like, yeah, you know, well, hopefully this year, maybe this is the year we get to see you, you know? So when we got that announcement, we were like, no way.
We cried. I cried.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like I was being punked. I was like, or I was hallucinating the notice. I was like, maybe I've forgotten how to read. So yeah, so getting that announcement, and we were like, okay, well, I guess we'll enter the ticket bloodbath. And at least I have experience as a concert goer for many things besides Harry Styles. I have plenty of experience dealing with Ticketmaster and the horrible walking man of torture. So yeah, we were very lucky, and we got to go to 3 out of the 4 shows live in the stadium at SoFi, and then we did one night of live play. And that was wild that we'd only been fans for a few months, and part of me is like, sorry, ARMY, who have been ARMY for years and years and years and haven't gotten the chance to see them. I'm sorry. But yeah, we got to see them in LA, and then when the ticketing came around for Vegas, the first show was on Mom's birthday.
Oh, wow.
And so we were like, please, can we get tickets to the show on Mom's birthday? Because what better birthday present than a BTS concert? So we get ready to take it, which is always a stressful experience. But I always put out my little like knickknacks, you know, like I make a little BTS shrine for good luck. And yeah, we were like huddled in the little corner office and over my laptop, and I'm, you know, like doing all the things. And somehow we get in the queue ridiculously fast for the first night. And I'm, you know, doing my thing, and I'm quite calm actually. I don't know, the universe wanted this for me. So I'm very calm, and I'm like looking at the seat map, and suddenly 2 tickets in the very front row facing the main stage pop up. And I was like, click, and I like hit add, like, you know, add to cart, like join, like I want these tickets or whatever. And it does the like,
oh, the blue circle.
And I'm like, at this point, it's happening for so long that I'm like, okay, just tell me somebody else beat me to the tickets, because all the other tickets are now starting to like disappear. And I was like, let me try again. And then all of a sudden the page just goes white, and then it's like in the cart. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
And so I'm like, all right. And so we, you know, put in, no, I don't want ticket insurance. I'll go, you know, no matter what. And putting in the card information, and I click, you know, purchase. And we're sitting there, and it, you know, and then the screen refreshes, and it's like, you got him. And I was like, no, I didn't.
You're cutting out.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. So the screen refreshes, it's like, you got him. And I was like, no, I didn't. What? So yeah, so we immediately burst into absolute just like torrential tears. And I didn't want to believe it until we got like the confirmation email that like we legit had them. But yeah, so we got first row on that first night, and then we still managed to get, gold soundcheck. And then we still managed to get tickets to the second night, the third night, and then we got live play for the fourth night.
Nice.
But yeah. So because we had front row and it was Mom's birthday, we were like, we need to make signs, you know, like why not? Let's make signs. So we made one for Mom's birthday and wrote it in Korean and put little pictures of each of the members during their birthday lives with like their birthday cakes. And we thought we were being so smart because we obviously had to pack them to go to Vegas. And so we like Velcroed them so you could like pull them on and off.
Cutting out again.
And like,
I don't know if.
Oh.
Oh.
Let me check. I think our
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so like we made Mom's sign and we put like little pictures and we were like, we have to travel with them, so let's like Velcro them on so we could assemble and disassemble the posters to travel with them. And so we made hers, and then I was like, I want to make something like funny. And it just happened to be April Fool's, which they haven't done it in a couple of years, obviously, but they, you know how the guys used to like take over their Twitter account, like a member would take it over and like put a ridiculous picture and like change the name to something, or like I think Jim in that year made it into like Bang PD, and
several of them took it over one after another that year.
So then Tay did it, and he put the ridiculous picture of him like kneeling on the green and a golf profile picture, and then he put Gopayong Che Kim Taeyang. And then he said, he tweeted, "You can call me Gopayong Che Kim Taeyang," which is golf prodigy, golf genius Kim Taeyang. And I was like, that's it. That's what I'm doing. That's it. He said, you can call me that. I was like, why not? So yeah, so I just had a basic black poster board, like piece of like paper, and I just wrote with white marker in Korean, Gopayong Che Kim Taeyang. And I slapped that picture of him looking like a goof, kneeling on the green right on the bottom of it. And yeah, we like I said, we had sound checks, so we got to hold them up during sound check. But like we didn't have any interaction with any of them during sound check, even though they were like right in front of us, and there's no way they couldn't have seen us because all the lights are on. And I know I made eye contact with like several of them during sound check, but nobody said anything. So, you know, I was just like, okay, whatever. So we enjoy the show. And during the encore, I'm like, you know, because they're like showing the posters or whatever on the big screen. So I'm like, do it. I dare you. Nothing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I wasn't even going to hold it up, but it was like as they were getting ready to leave, you know, so PTD's done and they're saying goodbye and coming up and going out to the different sides and everything. I was like, screw it. Let's hold it up one more time. So I'm holding it with like just these two fingers, and I'm holding my phone in like these two fingers and letting a chimney fan that's charging my phone. And I have my army bomb in these other fingers here. And I'm like awkwardly holding it. And thank goodness I was recording, because we found it in like maybe 2 fan cams that are from like way in the back of the stadium. I haven't found another video ever of it being like anywhere near where we were. But yeah, so I just happened to be filming, and from like the middle of the stage, you could see him looking. So I'm wondering if he had seen it earlier and was looking and wanted to, but hadn't had a chance to acknowledge it, and I hadn't held it the rest of the show, so like he wouldn't have known where it was until the very end. And so he's like looking, and then he like runs his hand through his hair, and then he sees it, and then as he walks up, he like points directly at me, and he's like, me, and then does the golf swing. And then he like turns to Jimin, who had just run past him, and he points at me, and he's like trying to tell Jimin doesn't care. Okay. Jimin does not care that I called you a golf prodigy. Like, love you, but Jimin doesn't care. So of course Jimin ignores him and keeps running. But then he like turns back to me and waves and smiles and then continues on. And I can see myself in my video. I had the wherewithal to wave at him with these 2 fingers as I'm holding my poster and several other items. And so I wave at him. Mom, I guess we were I yell like, Tay, like, hi, you know, I'm waving at him. I'm normal about it.
I started jumping up and down like a cheerleader. I do not jump. I had my army bomb up in my arm like this, and I was jumping straight up and down, screaming my head off.
I played
like
cool.
a cheerleader. And then, yeah, I mean, if you watch the full video of us, we're laughing and just screaming, and
I was like, oh my God.
The world happened. And,
yeah. And then, obviously, they leave because it's the very end of the show. And I turn around thinking everybody behind me obviously had to have seen this, right? And I'm like, oh my God, did you see that? And I'm like screaming and I'm all, you know, hype. And everybody's just like, looks at me like I'm insane. And I was like, cool. All right. So apparently we're the only two people who saw that. Awesome.
That's crazy. Because that's, I mean, such a huge moment. And it's like when you see, you know, somebody sees something really otherworldly and they try and tell everybody and like nobody saw it and nobody's like, yeah, okay. Because, you know, you're the only one.
Right. That's why I'm like, thank God I was recording because nobody would have believed this. Because apparently even the only people I posted the video obviously on TikTok and it went viral and whatever. And so the couple that were sitting next to us, she found my TikTok and she was like, oh my God, we were the ones sitting next to you. That was so cool. I was like, oh, you did see it. Good. And I was like, do you have video? And they were like, no, my husband wasn't recording during that.
I dropped my phone. She dropped her phone.
Oh, yeah. She dropped her phone. Oh, we were. And I was like, why? But yeah. So it really feels like a fever dream sometimes because we apparently were the only ones who saw it. And Kat was at the show and she was in the 100 section not too far away. And I was like, did you see Tay or whatever? And she was looking at Namjoon. So no, she did not see Tay. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, it felt like we hallucinated it. It was a joint hallucination, apparently. But at least I got it on camera so I can tell other people the story and show them.
I mean, it's such a good story. I wanted to make sure you told it. Sarah, when you guys were talking about doing the ticketing and getting the tickets, it was before that. You were talking about just finding out about the concert announcement at all. Yeah. And you said you cried.
Yeah.
Did you cry in your previous fangirl days when other concerts were announced, or was this a new BTS experience for you to have cried just by a concert announcement?
I think it was a new experience. I mean, of course, back in the day when I did get to see New Kids on the Block one time, my parents actually let me go. And that was a whole different experience, of course, back then, because you either had to call in for tickets or go to a box office or something,
or camp outside in the line.
Yeah, it wasn't something online and stuff. Yeah. I don't even remember how we got them now. I think we called their 1-800 number or something. And then Kelsey's very first concert ever was NSYNC. I took her to see NSYNC at Arrowhead Stadium. And, but I mean, I don't know, I didn't tear up at that. Maybe just being able to give her those tickets for her birthday. That was kind of fun. But I don't remember getting that emotional over getting tickets to anybody. And I've seen a lot of concerts. But I think also part of it had to do with the pandemic, just because.
Yeah, I was going to ask how much was pandemic and not having seen any concerts and how much was BTS, or it was just
that was part of it. But yeah, we had fallen so far down the rabbit hole at that point and thinking that we weren't going to see them for a very long time. And then all of a sudden having that opportunity, at least, I think I was in shock. But yeah, it doesn't take much. They can bring me to tears and nothing flat for all various reasons. But yeah, I don't recall ever being that emotional over just an announcement of a concert.
I think it was also because we had seen Jimin break down during Mott's 1. We had watched that pretty early on, that concert. And I think seeing how affected they were, and how much it meant to them, I was like, you get me. Like, you miss the stage because you miss performing and you miss being able to connect with ARMY like that. And I miss you on stage because I miss seeing you perform and getting to connect to you as ARMY. So it's a very reciprocal.
Did you two cry at the concert or just at the announcement?
Sorry, what?
Oh, did we cry at the concert?
Did you cry at the concert too, or just at the announcement of the concert?
Well,
Vegas.
And the
yeah,
getting tickets.
not really. Well,
LA.
and of course, LA, the first night of SoFi was a nightmare anyway, because we were still stuck outside when the VCR was starting because of the complete mess that was SoFi. They were not prepared for ARMY at all, even though ARMY was great. But yeah, so we didn't actually, and we were so upset because we didn't get in to the show when they first hit the stage with On. We were running to get to our seats at that point. They just stopped doing security and everything. They just were letting people go through with no checks or anything. And so we kind of missed a lot of On, which we were like, this is their first time stepping on stage again in 2 years, and we're
the
missing,
first time performing in front of ARMY,
and we're missing it.
I still want to see for emotional damage.
But I did cry later on because they performed We Are Bulletproof, The Eternal. And first note of that thing will send me into tears every single time.
Yeah, that's a choice. That's a choice. We
have to want to cry to watch that video or anything. They sang that, and did they sing Love Yourself that night as well? Or was that a different night? I don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, when they sang that, I was sobbing. So
yeah.
Did you choose your?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask if you saw the comment from Kat about the Harry concert not being that emotional.
That was actually an interesting turning point, I think, because up until that point, I was still kind of trying to split my time between I love Harry and BTS equally. It was all lies. So Harry's show had been rescheduled or whatever, his tour, and we had tons of tickets to his tour previously. And we sold a bunch of them to spend more money on BTS, first indication. But prior to that moment, his first show back, we didn't have tickets to. It was in Vegas. And 24 hours before that show started, I was like, we should go. So I bought concert tickets and a plane ticket, and we flew to Vegas and went to that very first show. Mostly because I was just like, I need something that's semi-normal, like a concert.
Yeah.
And we had this notion that once we see Harry on tour again, all of those feelings and that closeness that we used to have with him will come back. We just kept gaslighting ourselves into thinking that. And so we went to that show, and the whole time we were getting ready for it, I was listening to BTS. I had a Tay photo card in my phone case, and the whole time we were waiting to get food before the show, I was hoping somebody would notice it and talk to me about BTS. The show started. The show started, and I did bawl my eyes out at the first song.
Poor Harry Styles.
I did bawl my eyes out to the first song, but I'm pretty sure the reason I bawled my eyes out was, one, because it was my first concert back from everything that the world had become, and two, because I knew immediately, oh, this is the end.
Oh, really?
I don't connect.
So you cried because it felt like breaking up with him or something?
Yeah, it was I don't connect with this the way I used to. All of the feelings that I used to have with this aren't there. And it was it was kind of like a
BTS really stole you away, huh?
Well, it's not only
not that they did it on purpose thing, but
Right. Well, and I think what it was just there were a lot of things as a fan of Harry that I made concessions for and explained away or just dealt with. And his kind of just general distance from his fans in most aspects, being one of the main ones. So learning about BTS and ARMY and how their relationship is and how reciprocal it is and synergistic and how important ARMY is to BTS and how important BTS is to ARMY, like realizing that there was another way and getting to experience it for myself.
You're breaking up.
There's no like coming back from that, right? Like realizing that like once you see the light, you can't go back into the darkness. Like I know it's there, right? So like all the things that I had just accepted of like, oh, I guess that's what it's like being a fan, and I now know there's another way. Like why would I go back?
Do you think it's mostly, you know, that fandom versus the ARMY, or do you think it's also cultural? Because I feel like a lot of Western artists don't have that, and I don't even know if all the K-pop artists have it. But I think they have it more than the Western artists do.
It's more typical for K-pop artists to, you know, interact with their fans, obviously. Like, you know, they between like fan signs and things like Weverse and VLive when it was still a thing, and you know, like that kind of stuff. Like that is much more normal behavior, I suppose. But yeah, Western artists don't do it a ton. I would say the only person that I can like really think of that's really close to their fans would be Taylor. Because I mean, like Taylor used to invite fans to her house for listening parties when she'd drop albums and stuff.
Yeah.
And so
bake cookies and things.
Right. So like I would say she puts in a lot of time, and like she doesn't necessarily spend, you know, all the time on like socials with them, but she does like in-person things, and she knows that the fans will look for the Easter eggs and the hints and all the things. So like she purposefully incorporates things like that into her music videos and posts and things like that. So she's like about the only person I can think
she
of.
Does a lot of, she does a lot of individual outreach to certain fans though too, doesn't she? I heard she used to like kind of, you know, watch fans' social media and then, you know, maybe do something cool for them or something.
Yeah. Taylor Nation. Yeah.
So I want to make a disclaimer here in case any Harry Styles fans have been watching this. We are not, there's no fan war going on here. That's not what we do here.
No. We still like Harry's music a lot, so.
This is just their story. We're not hating on Harry Styles or the fandom or any of that whatsoever.
No, I still,
you know,
listen to him.
Have you completely broken up with him though? Have you guys completely broken up with him, or do you still like him and still go to his shows?
Well, he hasn't had, I mean, he did a really long tour and we went to 5 shows.
Yeah, you have not broken up with Harry Styles then. Okay.
No, I mean, I say I stopped standing him because I don't keep up with every single thing that he's doing and stuff like that, because one, there's not always that much to really keep up with besides creepily taking paparazzi photos. I mean, when he's not actively like, he keeps like private life and work life very separate. So like when he's in private lifetime, he's not interacting with like fandom, music, anything really. So he's been in that space now for a couple of years almost, ever since the tour ended. I don't remember when the tour ended. But yeah, so we don't stand in the sense that we like keep up with every single like notification possible that comes out from him. But like when he drops his next album, I'll definitely be listening, like for sure. But yeah, I just don't connect to him in the same way that I thought I did. And I mean, there was just his first solo album was different sound. It was more even just the fandom in general was smaller at the time. He wasn't as mainstream or general public like known. He wasn't as well known, I guess. Popular obviously because he was part of One Direction, but like I guess he's much more mainstream now, I would say. So the fandom just obviously got bigger. Kind of similar in the way ARMY did, you know, during like pandemic, right? Where it just kind of like exploded. That's kind of what happened with Harry in 2019. So it just felt different. Like that tour specifically felt different than the one in 2018 that we originally found him in. So yeah, I think it was also just like, I just didn't connect anymore the same way. Now it's just like I get to enjoy the music, but I don't feel like I'm like
a part of his like circle.
Yeah. Well, and I think that also partly just has to do with the fact that he does keep everything so separate, right? Like with BTS,
which is totally fine. I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean, he says. I mean, he's not on social. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's
I
shocking
remember
to me sometimes, like how involved BTS is with their fans. You know, it's
right.
that's.
I remember being surprised when we first found them because I was just like, you know, like, do they want to be this involved all the time? Like when I realized how many like different pieces of content there are, you know, between like In the Soup, Bon Voyage, dance practices, Bangtan Bombs, Bangtan episodes, the documentaries, the music videos, the concert videos, you know, just plus live videos that they do. Like when you like look at it at a whole, you're like, that is so much of your life on camera. And again, seeing everything through the lens of what I knew from One Direction and Harry, they talked about how hard that can be sometimes and how they feel like they have to kind of perform, I guess, in a way. Anytime a camera's on them, they were like, they would know that a camera was on them. So coming from that space, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, do they want that? Like, that's kind of crazy, right? Like to have all this content and like constantly be on camera and like whatever. But then just through hearing how they talk about it and like, ooh, we should do this for ARMY, or ooh, I bet ARMY would really like it if, or oh, I think ARMY would love this. Then I was like, they don't see it as like, oh, I have to be on camera right now. They see it as a way to connect. It's not something that's being done to them. It's something that they like to do so that they can be a part of our world. And I think that there's such a difference in intention between what we used to see and hear between that and what BTS does with ARMY. And yeah, it's.
I mean, they're kind of setting a precedent for any artist anywhere, and not everybody's going to jump on it. And I don't think everyone should, because I don't know that everybody can live that way. It's a lot. It's really a lot. You know, they don't have much of a private life.
That's another thing, though, that struck me early on as well was the fandom etiquette. Because that is once again not something we experienced with Harry. The fans were very intrusive into his privacy and insisted on following him and pictures and stalking and all kinds of things. And then coming into ARMY and realizing there was an actual etiquette. If you see BTS in the wild, no, you didn't. And it was
there is, but there's a whole lot of fans.
There's people. There's bad apples. Yeah, there's bad apples that don't listen to any of that. Especially
that could have been the same with Harry, though. That could, it could have just been those few people who.
You know how like it's generally not accept like in ARMY, people will, if you are like, say somebody was chasing after BTS down a sidewalk on video and like they're clearly like trying to get away from you, and you posted that like wanting your 15 minutes of fame on Twitter, ARMY would definitely, you would have a lot of ARMY immediately shutting that down and being like, okay, reporting you to Bigot right now. Thanks for giving me your handle. It's celebrated. That piece of video would be retweeted and shared and
you're so lucky.
You're so lucky you got to see him.
What?
I wonder if some of it is because there's more of a disconnect, and then there's not the like BTS. I think maybe ARMY shuts people down so much because it's like they give you so much. Like, do you need to take every last little scrap? Like they give you a ton. There's got to be a line somewhere. So I wonder if the Harry fans feel like, well, we don't get anything. I'm not saying that's okay either way. I'm just saying I wonder if that's what they think.
It could be partly that, but it's also they just don't see. He feels sometimes to them like because I mean I've seen it firsthand, like more of a product, like a thing that owes them something. Like if people used to like overanalyze whether like if he did a peace sign or if he gave you a thumbs up, it meant whether he liked or disliked the interaction. Like people would overanalyze like how he, like if he took a picture with a fan or something, right? So like it's a weird kind of like, oh, he should have done this or yada yada yada. With BTS and ARMY, it's like it was very apparent very quickly on that ARMY treats BTS like their safety matters. Like the best example would be PTD in Vegas when people brought flowers and they were tossing bouquets onto the carts and things, and Jin like got hit and they were dodging, flowers. And by the second night, people on Twitter had shut it down. Big Hit themselves had shut it down. And the members had said, do not throw things at us. One person threw one rose. Jungkook looked at her and was like, everybody in the section was like, and she left and nobody else threw anything. Like I had never seen anything like that, because at Harry concerts, it's celebrated to toss as many things as you can. And he's dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge like sunglasses, flowers, posters, feather boas, cameras, phones, like anything. It's getting chucked on stage. So I was just like, oh my gosh, they care about their safety. Like that's wild. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that like there is a general, I mean, will I say that the ARMY etiquette has shifted in the past few years, like especially during chapter 2? Absolutely. I think just ARMY as a whole and has just kind of been on unsteady ground with them gone, and with all the solo projects and everything going on. It's just kind of, some people are trickling in, some people are trickling out, some people are like, I'm here today, I'm gone tomorrow, but I'm back now. What happened? What did I miss? So I'm hopeful, and I don't know, maybe optimistic about when they do come back, like an actual comeback and tour and things, that hopefully things will will have the chance to reestablish some etiquette and some ground rules of like, here's what we're not going to do, guys. Like, let's try and remember that some things can be taken advantage of and we will lose them. Like the closeness that Yoongi, Hobi, and Jin had in their solo tours, right? Like Yoongi going down and taking the phone and being really close to ARMY. Hobi coming down and holding hands and like singing with ARMY. Jin coming down and singing Moon and hitting hands with ARMY. That one person that kind of grabbed his hand too long and he stopped doing it. Like, we will lose these things if we can't, if we can't be responsible. But they're trying. And I think that's really cool that they're trying, because I think they, one, missed the crap out of us, and two, I think they sometimes feel like they're, they've gotten so big and ARMY's gotten so big that sometimes I think they need that closeness to be like it used to be, when it was still just
the fan signs
small,
are long gone. So.
Like small BTS and ARMY against the world, right? Like, I feel like they just kind of want that tight-knit closeness again. So please, let's not ruin this. let's be responsible. But yeah, I'm hopeful once things kind of like become, I don't know if normal is the right word, because really it's all going to be kind of brand new, but like everything's just been so up in the air for almost 3 years now. I mean, it had almost 4 years. I remember in 2021, people being like, are they doing a world tour? Are they doing this? And then like, well, what about this? Well, no, that can't happen. Or what about this? And And then you always had the military thing hanging over their head. So it's like, when is that going to happen? So I think now that, hopefully, now that things are more certain and they've given us a time frame, that hopefully that'll give us time to get our act together and we can show them the best side of Army, because that's really all I want. I don't want them to stress about it. I just want them to be happy and
well,
relaxed.
And that's the thing. I think that's why, a lot of the Western artists do keep that distance, because that sometimes it's necessary. And like you said, BTS tries and then they get slapped and then they got to back up a little bit. And, so some people choose to just not do that right off the bat. Neither one is fine. They're both fine, but depends on your artist and what they're comfortable with and what they're willing to do. But it sounds like you just sort of shifted, kind of from one fan base to the other. And that's all fine. There are, I'm sure, plenty of Harry Styles fans left that they're okay.
I still know several.
Yeah.
They're okay that BTS stole you.
We just when we found ARMY, we found our people. It felt like we actually found our people, because there's
so
so
some people have
diverse.
gone the other way. Maybe they came from somewhere else and found Harry Styles and were like, this is our people. No.
Right. Yeah.
It's all good. We just all find where we're supposed to be, right?
Yep.
So let's play a game.
Also, just a little tiny thing before we did go to Korea during Festa, so we actually got to experience that too. And Kelsey had another moment.
I see J-Hope in the chat, and speaking of my bias line, which this is me publicly coming out as now Hobie is in my bias line. He has joined my loving puppy Maknae line, Yoongi, and now Hobie. So again, I might as well just add Jin and Namjoon. Do you see where this is going? But yeah, no, Korea was the best and worst thing that ever happened to me, because Jung Ho-seok absolutely destroyed me in so many ways. It's not even funny. We spent a lot of time with Hobie. Sure did. And I won.
Did you see his new tattoo?
I did. And I had the appropriate feral response on Twitter. You can go find it. Yeah.
So this cup that I'm drinking out of may not seem like a BTS cup, but it actually is, because this is my lemonade cup from Hope on the Stage.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I was parched and probably mostly dehydrated, and I was like, I need a lemonade. Are they like $1 million? How much are they? Thank goodness they weren't, because they had whatever the price was, but they also had like alcoholic lemonade something. And this was the non-alcoholic. So whatever like crazy price they had up there was for the alcoholic one, thank goodness. But
good.
So of course I kept the cup, and it's reusable.
Naturally.
So
Yeah.
this is actually a BTS cup, and it is from the only concert that I've been to in person. BTS. That's it.
Which one did you get to go to? Which city?
Chicago.
Okay, we were there.
Day 2?
Yep.
Day 2?
Yeah. Yep.
Huh?
Yep. We could drive to Chicago.
So.
We did not.
We did not. No.
No.
I was too busy carrying around a trash bag of goodies. Quite literally. I bought so much merch that one of the poor staff members saw me, and she was like, would you like a trash bag? And so she gave me an industrial-sized clear trash bag, and I just dumped all my merch, and I was holding it over my shoulder like a rucksack, like I was leaving home.
Like you were dragging a body or something.
It was clear, thankfully. It wasn't a black trash bag. It was a clear bag.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did not get a lemonade.
Where was your wagon?
We didn't have it yet.
Yeah, we bought it for Borahae Con.
You probably wouldn't have been able to take it in there anyway.
No.
I could have used it though, for sure. Yeah.
But Korea, we got to see both the finale concerts. We got to go to both of those. So we were at the one where all of the members were there. I was just down the way from them. I just couldn't.
How close were you to the rest of them in the back dancing around?
So on Inner Park, you can only buy one ticket. So we didn't get to sit together either night. Yeah.
Really?
So I was
Yeah.
in the lower.
Gotta make friends.
Yeah. I was in the lower tier, and I was one section over from them. If I had been maybe 3 or 4 rows up further, I probably would have been able to see them because I was further down and they were back up behind. I knew they were there because people behind me were turning around and taking pictures and filming and stuff, but I couldn't see them with my eyes. Kelsey was right directly above them in the tier above them, so she couldn't see them either.
I knew they were right below.
We knew they were there, but we couldn't see them with our own eyes. But
That must have been a weird feeling.
Huh?
No, knowing they were there but not being able to see them.
Yeah. And then, I mean, of course, when Jungkook came out on stage.
That first night was nothing but like hyperventilating tears.
Yeah.
Question about that. Yeah. I heard there's this theory that when the risers came up and the lifts came up and Hobie was on the top and Jin was on like a secondary one and then Jungkook was on a third one, people were throwing out the theories that, oh, well, Hobie's, finishing his tour and then Jin's going on his tour. And so does that mean Jungkook's going to go on a tour because there's only 3 up there? What do you think about that?
The Jungkook tour theory has been long discussed because there have been like, my friend works at this venue and they leaked to me that get ready for Jungkook in like November or something. I mean, timing wise, it could work. If they're far enough along in what they would want him to do album wise by the time he would need to go. My friend Jenny and I were talking about it earlier, and we were thinking that if we don't hear anything, maybe by like mid to end September, that it's probably not happening. Yeah. But I feel like we would have to hear something semi soon. Just timing.
Do you think that thing with the risers was a thing though, or was that just?
I, honest to God, was losing my mind. I didn't even notice that they were on different heights of risers. I couldn't see through my tears. I was ugly crying with these Japanese fans on either side of me, and I was trying to like keep it together so I didn't scare them with my like American loudness. But yeah, I honest to God had no idea. To this day, I didn't even know they were on different heights.
I didn't either. I thought
this is brand new.
I thought Hobie was up here and they were down. I didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
I hadn't heard that. No.
Hadn't heard that
News
at all.
To us. Oh.
Yeah. Every day's a school day. Every day you learn something new, huh? Yeah.
I mean, I didn't notice either until I started seeing posts that people were saying that, and that
I hadn't seen that.
So.
Never know. I mean, they throw out Easter eggs that we never catch, so it's very possible.
And then there's things where like that was a spoiler, right? And they were like, no. I'm like, okay. No, clowned again.
So then Karen, our guest from Into the Bangtan Universe wormhole, she said that some of the latest pictures that they've been sharing, not like the most recent, but some from before that. That they're still hinting at the HYOH stuff. She said that RM had a picture where he hid some elder flowers in the bush behind him. I didn't see that. I don't know which one she's talking about, but that's how Easter eggy the Easter eggs are apparently.
Yeah.
Why was Jungkook dressed like I Need You Jungkook on the beach when they did the live?
What?
Yeah, why was he in the gray tank top with the black hoodie? Great question.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Why did they all go to the beach again together?
Oh, well, I mean, they are in LA.
Well, yeah, but did they need to do a live on the beach that had the worst cell signal ever? They just turned into freeze frames of people's faces.
That was great.
It was great. Yoongi just suddenly being in the camera was amazing. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they're dropping all sorts of Easter eggs, and we're just missing every single one of them. But yeah, so night 1, tears. Night 2, screams, and then tears. It was an emotional roller coaster. Did I know that did I ever expect him to come out naked for like an hour and a half? No. I think my video of Killing It Girl is just a minute. The first minute and a half, you can't hear him or the music. You just hear my feral, panicked scream giggles. And the girl next to me, who is French ARMY, and we became friends, and we're just screaming at each other like, what is going on? Yeah, you just hear that basically in the camera.
Really, you couldn't hear anything,
Mm.
period, because the entire stadium was losing their minds.
It was insane.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he just proceeded to be naked, and I was like, this is the thing we're doing now.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
And then he cried, and I cried, and then he performed Safety Zone, and I was on the floor, and yeah, it was crazy.
So
So I was
only lets you buy one ticket. Is that just international fans? Can Korean fans buy more than one?
I don't think so.
I don't
Wait,
know.
what?
I don't
It's
think
just
so.
one.
Yeah, it's just one per night. Mhm.
Yep.
So Korean fans can't even sit together?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy,
everybody
Gotta make
that's
friends.
there is not sitting with anybody they know, most likely.
usually.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You just have to make friends with who you're sitting by.
Mhm.
I had no idea. So,
Yeah.
but isn't there, like you say you have to make friends, but isn't it possible you're sitting next to people that don't at all speak a language that you speak?
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
we were. I mean,
Yeah.
the
J
first,
Army next to me didn't speak English.
the
so-
first night I was next to a Japanese army, but I did have some English speaking armies around me, just not right next to me. And then the next night I had a Korean army on one side, and I'm not sure where the other lady was from, but yeah, they weren't English speakers, but we still communicated. We were still able to kind of sort of communicate with each other in other ways. So, but yeah.
I mean, the stadium was majority international fans. And I know that because
So if there was no people, I have a random question. If there was no people sitting together that knew each other, how many guys were in that audience?
there were quite a few.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know if probably not as many as like I would say that you would see them
In the US.
in the US or even like UK or something, but
Oh, we lost her.
we're losing Amanda.
Hello, everyone else, if you can still hear us. Can somebody pop in the chat whether you can hear us or not? Or did the whole stream go down?
I don't know.
I'll text Kat.
Oh,
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. It might be this.
Okay.
I've had this problem the last couple weeks, and I've had a fan next to me because it's really hot in the room that I'm in. So I'm wondering if the fan did it. So I
Okay.
shut off the fan.
okay. Well, we were making sure that everybody apparently they
hear
could still
us.
They can still hear us,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it might be the fan. I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
had this problem except the last couple of weeks. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
But there's also construction around our house, so I don't know if that's,
yeah.
Could be.
that'll knock out the internet. But
I'm trying to think, like even on some of our other things, because we were at Hybe several days, and there was some male army there. We made friends with one that was from Las Vegas.
Mhm.
We went to like on the in the soup tour, and he was with us on that, and so we did see some male army. But I think you would see probably more at like the U.S. tours and UK and stuff like that. Probably,
Yeah.
but there were some there, yeah.
Yeah, I did see some.
So, but
I guess I was just
Kelsey-
more curious how many would come like by themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we entered
I don't
because so
I don't feel like they're as brave as we are, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong, and they might be as brave as the female fans. I don't know.
Korean male army? I think they would be.
yeah,
I mean, I'm thinking of like the size show that Hobie performed at. That was a ton of guys at that.
yeah,
So
and he,
yeah,
they've all gained a lot of fanboys from
military.
the military
Yeah.
stuff too. So, but
I know there's a lot of male army. I didn't
Yeah.
know if they'd be as brave to go by themselves. I feel like
yeah,
most of the female army are like, whatever, I don't care. I just need to be
Right.
there. If you're going to
Right.
split me up from who I'm with, fine. I wish you wouldn't,
Right.
but fine.
yeah,
Deal.
yeah.
But I didn't know if it would be the same for guys, but maybe
Yeah.
it is.
So while we were there, also they Hobie did all of his music shows. So we were actually in Korea for to enter the raffles because, you know, you're not going to enter those raffles when you live over here.
Right.
And so we entered the first raffle
For Mnet.
for Mnet and, you know, didn't get through or whatever. And then we were in Busan for the next 2 music shows, so we didn't even enter because we knew that we weren't going to be there. And then we entered for the very last one for Inkigayo, which was very small.
280 people.
Yeah, 280 people.
Oh.
And I didn't get through, but she did.
Yeah, I won.
Ouch.
I won, and I was participant number 6, which is apparently for that night meant you were in the best spot in the entire room.
Wow.
I was front and center, like 8 feet from him, just enough space for the like track camera guy to go back and forth. That's literally it. There was the stage right here, the track camera, which I call Dave. I call every cameraman in Korea Dave. And if he's good, if he does like the crazy like zooming and we're, you know, like you're getting motion sickness, that's Dave. If he keeps it still, that's Dan. This was Dave. It's Inkigayo. Of course it was Dave. Inkigayo can't keep the camera still to save their lives. So yeah, so there was the track, and then I call it my seatbelt barricade. You know those like little like seatbelt material pole things that they like, you know, cordon people off with or whatever. Yeah, that's all there was between me and Hobie. That's it.
And naked Hobie. Was he naked at that one?
Kind of. He was in the sweater that doesn't really constitute as a sweater. The black one that's like, yeah,
Black
like has
the
holes
holy
and,
sweater. The
yeah.
holy sweater.
I mean, obviously he's not naked in the other ones, but you called him naked, so we're gonna go with that.
Yeah. To
If
me,
you see
it counts.
abs, then
and yeah, Alyssa did her best to lift his shirt all the way up. So I saw it. Saw it. Yeah, it was insane, and I really wish I could have like taken video and things because that would have been the clearest video of my life. But it was a wild experience. Yeah, well, I have a ridiculous voice note at like 4 something in the morning that I sent Kat, that I saved. I sound insane and a little like I sound drunk because I'm so tired. It was close. I almost went out on a stretcher because like I hadn't eaten since like maybe 12:30 that day. Mind you, I didn't get like we couldn't get to Inkigayo until 10. We had to be there like 10:10 at night, and we weren't supposed to go in until 1 a.m. It was delayed by like 2 hours, so we didn't go in until almost 3 a.m. And so I just had to stand there, no food. Well, he gave us the Japanese like fruit sando, but I ate a little bit of that. But outside of that, yeah, we was just like standing out there. So I got to make friends with a bunch of K-Army, and there was a Korean American Army that was next to me in line, and she was so wonderful. She would like translate conversations so I could be a part of them, and like would keep me in the loop or whatever. So it was really nice. But yeah, it was the wildest experience of my life, and like I made eye contact with him so many times.
Bye, Sanja.
Bye, Santa. Yeah, I wish I could have filmed with my eyeballs. So yeah, I don't know how this keeps happening, where we keep getting lucky like this, but I'm not gonna be mad about it. I'm like, please, don't say I've used up all of my luck. I need those tour tickets come 2026. So. But yeah, so Korea was amazing.
Yeah.
And I should never come back.
Yeah.
Well, I bet she had to leave because you guys warned me. You said if you came on, you'd have a lot to say. So you're one of my longest. But we still have to play games now, and it's probably not going to end till 2 hours. So let's roll.
All right.
I was expecting 2 hours was the minimum.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'm
a yapper
people
when
in
I
the
need
chat,
to.
I guess
Cat,
with your seatbelt.
if Kat's still here, she knows.
Well, we'll try and not go too long, but okay. So we're playing who would you bring this week? So I will go back and forth with people in the comments. Feel free to give us scenarios or answer our scenarios. Okay, so for both of you, and you can answer, one at a time. You are at a botanical garden that is having a like a musical. I was going to say a musical festival, but it's not really a festival. It's just sort of an outside, musical act. Kind of a relaxing, thing to either sit and watch or walk around and listen to while you're at the botanical garden. So which member are you bringing with you and why? Oh, they're stumped.
Well, I've got a couple of different options.
I'm trying to decide if I would survive this or not. Because nature and I do not mix. I'm highly allergic to the great outdoors.
Pretend like you're not.
So I'm gonna say Namjoon.
Okay.
One, because he obviously loves nature, but also because I say Namjoon, but then I also want Yoongi. No, I'm gonna stick with Namjoon.
Only bring one.
I'm gonna stick with Namjoon. I also think he would. We could sit there and it would kind of be like as we walk around, it would kind of be like when he's at like a museum or something, and we could like sit there and talk about like, make it philosophical and kind of like what we see in the garden, like in the flowers and things, and have like a cool intellectual conversation. And I also feel like he might know like random facts about certain plants that he would just like impart. See, that's also why I want to bring Yoongi, because Yoongi would also definitely have the most random facts about plants that you would be like, why do you know that? And then he'd tell you he was making it all up. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go with Namjoon. Yeah.
My first thought was Jimin, simply because he tends to appreciate the pretty things like that, like the flowers and stuff like that. And I can just see, especially I know some of the botanical gardens and things like that will have like moonlight things at nighttime even or whatever, and so Jimin would absolutely love that, stargazing, looking at the moon or whatever. So I'm thinking more aesthetically wise, I think he would enjoy that, and I would enjoy watching him enjoy that.
Because you wouldn't be looking at the flowers.
Oh, probably not.
Like what flowers?
Flowers.
Nobody's paying attention to the zebra.
What is this? I just never here. Where are we? All right. You want me to give you another one? Okay. You are on a cruise through Alaska, like around the Alaska area. You're on an Alaskan cruise. Who are you bringing?
I'm taking Tay.
Okay.
My winter bear. He loves the cold.
You're taking your winter bear on an Alaskan cruise. That makes sense.
He loves the cold. He would also lose his mind if we saw like penguins or like any animals. He's losing his mind, and it'll be the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Do they have penguins in Alaska, or just like
at the South Pole? I don't know. Why would I know? Do I look like I live in Alaska?
South Pole from Alaska.
I
don't know where they are. They have animals in Alaska. I do know that. They probably have moose.
If there were penguins, if you guys did see penguins in Alaska, he might lose his mind just because I think they're maybe not supposed to be there.
Probably
so.
not.
Maybe like, why are they here? But anyway, any animals we saw, he would lose his mind.
All the comments on this video afterwards about whether or not there's penguins in Alaska.
I know, there's going to be an entire discussion.
I'll
Google
I'm
it.
say no,
Probably not.
Okay, Sarah, who are you bringing?
I think Jungkook. I think he would be fun, and he'd have his big old camera with him, just taking pictures everywhere. And same, he would like, any animal sightings.
He also likes the cold.
But yeah, and he also likes the cold as well. But yeah, I mean, just watching him like in a lot of the Bon Voyage videos and things like that, how he just nature in general and just taking pictures, shots of the mountains and the lakes and things like that. I think he would love that. Not to mention cruise food. He would be all about the cruise food. So
All you can eat.
all you can eat, right? Midnight buffet.
Yep. Okay, I got a really good one. You are on a game show and you have one of the members as your partner on the game show, and you're trying to like win the game show, win the money, win whatever. So who's your game show partner?
What kind of game show are we talking here?
Game show you want? You tell me.
Well, it'll change my answer. If it's like, you know, it doesn't matter.
Say it's something like who wants to be a millionaire, but you can have, you know, a partner rather than just being by yourself.
Trivia.
Who wants to be a millionaire, like celebrity style. So you get to pick a celebrity partner to be your partner. But they don't need the money, so it's really just for you. But like they're your partner to answer the questions.
Mm-hmm.
See, Jin's good at games. Namjoon has a lot of knowledge, but I think I'm still going to go with Yoongi because he's a wealth of useless knowledge. He knows things that are so off the wall sometimes that you're just like, I don't know why you know that, but okay. So I'm going to, and he's also very good. Like he would keep me calm. Like he would just be like, okay, I understand that this is high pressure, but we're going to keep it together. You know, we're going to keep it calm, and keep a clear head. So I'm choosing Yoongi.
Okay, well then, if it's going to be a trivia game like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, then I would go with Namjoon because boy, some of those questions get very difficult, and he has read so many books that I would never touch with a 10-foot pole. That I think he would know so many more answers than I would.
We've got a scenario in the comments. Who would we bungee jump with?
Oh, that's assuming I would ever do it in the first place. But I'll pretend like
exactly.
I'm brave. I'll pretend like I'm brave.
If you had asked me this question a few years ago, my answer would be different. But today, I'm going to say Ted.
I'm going to answer it and say Jimin, only because he wouldn't make me jump. Because I'd be like, I can't, I don't want to, I'm not going to do it. And he'd be like, that's okay, you don't have to.
Yeah.
True. I'm doing it with Tay. And a few years ago, I would have been like, he is not bungee jumping. But this man rappels headfirst down buildings and jumps out of helicopters now. So I think he could do it. And I also think he would have tips for me on how to fight through any lingering like anxiety about it, because he had to do it himself.
Yeah. I would have originally might have thought of JK, but now I'm kind of thinking of Jin, just because he enjoys some of those thrill type things as well, and I think he would be hilarious to jump with because I can just hear the laughter right now and the screams. But yeah, I think Jin would be fun, and I think he would. If he saw me getting very nervous, he'd probably calm me down a little bit as well too.
Tell you dad jokes.
Yes, there you go. Get me to laughing and forgetting about what in the world I was getting ready to do.
So what about you? In the people in the comments, who are you going to bungee jump with? I'm sticking with Jimin because I really think he would not make me do it.
I agree. I think you're right.
I told him how scared I was and that I really, 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 really didn't want to. I think he'd be like, okay, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Probably.
And I would love him for that.
Always.
More than I already do. All right. Well, we'll see if anybody in the comments answers that. Otherwise, I'll give you a couple more.
Okay.
And then we'll probably wrap up. So let's see. You are in a rainstorm and you're trying to get from one place to another. So either you're, exiting your car or some form of transportation trying to get to a building, but you have to like go a ways across, whatever it is, some streets, some pedestrian bridges, a parking lot, whatever it is, you've got a ways to go. And you're in a rainstorm. Who do you want with you? While you're thinking, I still don't know how to say the name. I'm so sorry. Gucci says Jin that they'd bungee jump with because he'd be fun and reassuring. So we got 2 for Jin on the bungee jump.
I think I'm taking Jimin because he said that he doesn't mind the rain, and okay. I'm the kind of person that doesn't mind the rain.
Okay.
I'm the kind of person that sometimes will go out and stand in the rain.
Okay.
So
I mean, this is a downpour. This isn't like sprinkles. This is like it's raining.
I mean, still, I watched the BTS members play foot volleyball in a downpour, and they had a blast. So I don't think any of them are like, oh no, I'm wet.
No, not that. Like, I was wondering how much of a downpour you stood out in. Did you go out when it's like pouring?
I have, yeah.
Wait, didn't you just tell me you're allergic to the outside?
When I lived in Kansas City, not where I live now. Where I live now, I live in nature. Like there's a forest right here.
Yeah, we live in the country, so
and a field right there, and there, and there. Yeah.
Cities are better for her because there's less plant life.
Yeah, yeah. When I lived in Kansas City, I could do it. But yeah, I'm choosing Jimin, and also because he's good with directions.
So you can see through the rain.
So we could like navigate together and be like, hey, we need to go this way and figure out where we're going.
Got it.
A little stumped on this one. I was thinking Hobie just because if we didn't want to get wet, he would be dragging me along as fast as possible to get to where we were going to stay dry. But we'd probably be giggling and laughing the entire time as well. So, but yeah, he's not going to want to get his Louis Vuittons too wet. So he'd be dragging me along to keep dry.
Either that, or he's like, let's just call a car. Let's just take an Uber.
Let's just call a car. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Let's just take an Uber.
From the parking lot to the building.
Yeah,
he's got money for that,
I feel like Suga is the one who's the cat that doesn't like water. He might drag you really fast.
That's true. I might be able to keep up with his pace a little better. The grandpa run.
Right. All right, one more. Let's see. You are at the Mall of America shopping. Who are you bringing? Silence.
And there's so many different options there.
And you can go to whatever stores you want, or whatever stores the person you're bringing the one that wants to go to. So I'm not gonna say which stores, or if you don't even go to stores, maybe you go to the Mall of America and all you do is go on the rides, or you just go eat at all the restaurants, or I don't know.
I'm going with Tay. Because
I also don't know if they've ever been there, so it might be their first time. Because I mean, as much as they film everything they do, I've never seen a film of them at the Mall of America, so it might be their very first time too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tay, because if I'm needing fashion advice, he's good with fashion.
Okay.
If we want to find all the weird, obscure stores that sell things like cat paintings, listening to jazz and smoking cigars, I'm sure we can find that, and he would love it. And It'd be hilarious. Or if there's like a music store, or if there's like I just feel like there's a lot of shenanigans we could get up to.
Okay.
And then he would like the rides, and he would definitely get down with some good food. So I feel like he's a good shopping companion. And he likes shopping. So I'm not going to like have to be dragging him around, like I'm not forcing him to do it.
I feel like they'd kind of be excited at the Mall of America.
Yeah. That's funny because at first I thought, no, not Hobie because he's too high end, but it would be kind of fun to go shopping with Hobie, actually, to be able to go into some of those stores that we could normally afford or whatever, but to go in there and to peruse through some of that stuff, or some of the, the jewelry, the watches,
maybe he's
stores.
buying. Maybe
He
he's
might.
buying.
He might. And I can always get down with getting new shoes, and he loves shoes. So shoe store shopping would be a blast. And I think he would be also just like, if you haven't been to Mall of America and you go in the first time, you're just like, oh my gosh, what? He would be amazed by the sheer size of it. But yeah, we'd find some good food to eat. And I might even be able to drag him on the Ferris wheel or something. But yeah, I think it would be kind of fun to just see him shop because he loves it as well. So
he does his shopping dance that he does in all the interviews.
Yeah.
Carrying his bag and doing the little shopping dance. Yeah. Everyone's always like, is that really how you shop?
Probably.
Just like that.
Maybe you'd have to let us know. If you go to the Mall of America with Hobie, let us know if that's how he actually shops.
Okay, I will.
We have an answer from the texts from my friend. Okay. She's saying Puppy Cyclone, which I would take my Puppy Cyclone for sure. The Puppy Cyclone is the Machne line, and they are my Puppy Cyclone, and I would love to take them to the mall. Yeah, they're the wild tumbling Puppy Cyclone. Hello. Yeah.
Puppy Cyclone. Yeah. Okay.
Puppy Cyclone. And I said it has to be one person, and she said they are one person, and I have to agree. I have to agree with my friend here, because they do kind of seem like they come as a package deal, and if you try to separate them, they just kind of like, they're like magnets, right? And they just kind of, you try and they're like, nope. So Puppy Cyclone. Jungkook would have a blast on the rides, and he's eating all the foods, so I get to enjoy that. Jimin he would be very like, he'd be like, I don't know if you need that. Do you need a second? Well, not to me, to Tay. Do you need a second chair that looks like a butt? I don't think so. He's talking him off the ledge of the Jazz Cat cigar painting, right? You don't need to take that back to Korea with you. Jimin's also just fun to have when Taekook are doing their criminal, partners in crime kind of thing. I can be the adult kindergarten teacher with Jimin to make sure they don't get into too much trouble. So yeah, no, I think it would be fine.
He'd also tell you look pretty and everything. So
that
would be nice.
He's so sweet. But yeah,
that's funny. So you're getting texts on your phone during this?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, my friend is watching. She's just not in the comments. She's texting me.
Okay. Well, hello, whoever it is. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. It's been a ride. It's been a very wild ride.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. You guys have quite the...
It's the way this is not even the half of it. I could keep doing this. There's a lot that's happened in
a very
4
short
years.
time.
Yeah, it seems like it. You guys, you went hard and you went fast.
Yep. Couldn't be happier though, and I'm very thankful that you do Borahae Con because it's the one and only thing we've ever been to where we can just meet up with ARMY and stuff, except outside of concerts and things. So it's been a lot of fun. We tell everybody about it that we can. So hopefully one of these days we'll get to do another one.
I mean, I can't make next year's dates until I know about that tour.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We understand that.
I hope they don't do what they normally do and give the dates a
1
month
week before the concert.
Yeah.
or a week
And they're like,
before.
hey, you missed.
I can't plan that fast.
No.
They're
Yeah,
like,
I know.
sorry, the concert tickets went on sale yesterday. Missed it. Sorry.
No, I know. That's what we joked about at the con this year. It's like, that's what they're doing
Yeah.
now. It's just like, oh, we announced a new concert. Tickets were on sale yesterday. You know, like,
Yeah.
concerts tomorrow.
Tour starts in 3 hours. Missed it. Sorry.
Yeah. That's about how it is now. So I'm hoping they don't pull that because
Right.
I need at least, God, I mean, maybe I could get it done in 3 or 4 if I have nothing else at all going on, but like I need at least 6 months.
Yeah.
It's
We
a
understand. We totally understand.
big thing, especially if, you know, if they come around here, I would love to do it near the tour dates around here
yeah,
because then people will be
yeah.
here and we'll
Right.
get
That'd be
a lot
awesome.
of people. But with a lot of people, that means even more planning. So, I mean, not that
Right.
we don't have a lot of people, but I mean a lot of people.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. It was good to have you. Good to see your smiling purple faces again with your purple hearts. And we will see everybody next week. I guess if you want to keep talking to them, you know, make some comments and go from there. Otherwise, come to the con. I'm assuming you'll be there. So the next one, whenever it is.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. All right.
And then we all meet up and make new friends.
Yes.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you, Amanda.
everybody.
Bye.